are you?
All right, it's always good to see you. I've been seeing pictures of the grandbaby,
Oh, my God. Great. Grandmother.
great grandbaby. Oh, wow.
No, my youngest grandchild is almost 18.
Ah,
With that, but yes, I was up there, I was in Washington for a week. And I never did, I didn't have a left. For my grandson. Then, and, took care of them, did not like them.
there you go.
I mean,
I'm sure they enjoy it.
timing. Good timing. Yeah,
So now he knows. It's like, we're on it, we gotta help her.
yeah.
I was gonna talk to you about Tony Cole. Oh, you know, but I've got some stuff here. He is in jail in. There's liver Parkinson. And he has a state jail here. And he prosecuted and they don't go up and dismissed. But he's gonna get the publication in according to his time. And so this case is, it's overnight matches.
Is it a drug case? Where
It is a.
Oh, okay. So, Daniel, are you able to review this? What we could do is we could probably do something by Zoom maybe, so that he doesn't have to come here.
Okay, and he has two misdemeanors here, this town as well as this. But
Yeah. So we can do something by Zoom.
hopefully I haven't added too much stuff to that.
Yeah, so what we can do is we can zoom him in. I still do hybrids.
Okay, I was gonna see if we could do a PR one, but if we can do that, but I think it goes for 18th
Mhm.
in Michael County.
Yeah.
And so if we could just bring it on that.
Yeah, I tell you what, just hang around a little bit. The court coordinator will be here shortly. And then we will take that matter up, because she could put him on Zoom and make arrangements with Blanco to do it by Zoom, but confer with Daniel and see if you all can come up with an agreement.
Computer.
Yeah, and then maybe he can add, see if he's willing to, what he's willing to do. Yes.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. You know, we were stranded in that.
Oh,
I don't know. Absolutely loved it. It was just there during the rich cultural thing.
Good morning, Mike.
The Jazz Fest or. And there was something.
Every single day. So John Legend was there, all of the jazz artists were there. I ran into people from San Antonio who were like, I come to France, I've been coming back for 25 years to come to this jazz festival. Yeah. Mhm. We should plan a continuing legal education course during that time.
I'll say I'm not.
Yeah.
But if I'm not, if he lives to be 100 like the stuff we told him, exactly, which means also be taking care of his 90. Then
You just have to bring your children and grandchildren on board, because I find that caregivers always need a break. So, and you could say, hey, you guys gonna have to help this for 2 weeks. I'm going to not think
Of anything, I'm gonna go off and enjoy. Okay. All right, well, have a good one.
Good to see you, Jeff.
Yes. 1:30.
I can tell you about Clinton. He is in Waco County, and I was talking Senate. And I don't remember.
Well, we did. You got
We
really forget the day. Well, you don't have.
He's been in jail in Bexar County since February. And this happened some, I don't even know the date, but it was where that happened.
Yeah.
And So. she said she said it was gonna be- But it's gonna be given deferred adjudication.
Good morning.
How was your weekend?
Oh, it was great.
That will be on the-
Filled with events, but it was great.
And he has two more rooms. And so.
Yeah, and we got rain for my grass.
Then we can
Very
just,
happy.
take care of everything and maybe. Maybe else.
Yeah, I think it's a little.
So do you want to do it later?
All right, everyone, I'm going to call the docket. Happy rainy Monday. It is court liaison probation officer's birth month. So we're going to make her job easy. We're not going to make it difficult today. Brenna has just come back from being in the wilds, but was still able to get a read back from me, even though she had no stable Wi-Fi. She did it through tin cans. So knowing all of that, I think today is going to be a beautiful Monday. So let's not turn it into a difficult Monday. I'm going to call the docket. When I call the docket, let me know that you are here. No caps allowed unless there is a good reason for them. So let me know that you're here. Otherwise, I'm going to assume you're not, and a warrant may be issued for your arrest. So everyone, we know that it's raining outside. People tend to drive recklessly in the rain, but at a slow pace when it's sunny. So put some patience in your pocket. Everyone will be taken care of today. Elizabeth Yepes.
Yes, she's present. If you give me 2 minutes, I'll be ready for the PS.
Thank you. Sylvester Ortiz. Sylvester Ortiz. Joshua Talbot. Joshua Talbot. Oh, thank you. Jeffrey Kesey. Thank you.
And your Honor, counsel is present via Zoom.
All right, just give me a moment. Carlos Vargas. Jesse Enaho or Henaho. How do you pronounce your last name? I'm sorry? Enoho. Okay, thank you. I'm never sure, Brenna, if the H is silent or not. Johnny Tejeda. Franco Ruiz. Franco Ruiz. All right, thank you. Chad Pullman. Jose Munoz Monero.
If that's my case, Judge, we'll confirm.
Thank you. Latasha Jenkins. Robert Trevino. Troy Lee. Troy Eugene Lee. Alejandro Garcia. Alejandro Garcia. Pedro Rodriguez. Samantha Soto. Samantha Soto. Rico Fernandez. Carlos Vargas. Carlos Vargas. Judah Castilla. Monique Raleigh Williams. Monique Raleigh Williams. Oh, Jill. Okay, thank you. Desiree King. Desiree King. Laura Mendoza. Laura Mendoza. Leonidas Rodriguez. I'm sorry? Thank you. That's with the 300, I believe. See, Brenda, you don't even get that reference. Did you not see 300? I mean, everybody else gets that reference.
Sorry.
All right, Amanda Beltran is by Zoom. Patricia Perez. All right, the persons who are in custody are Philip Washington, Joshua Talbot, Amanda Beltran, Shirley Martinez, Leslie Gloria, Ozzy Ibarra, Chance Stelzig, Franco Ruiz, Ethan Faris, Davion Graham, Amberly Perez, Cruz Rivas, Monique Raleigh Williams, Ozzy Ibarra, Utambasi Akiri, and Jonathan Tate. Is there anyone who came in late or your name was not called? All right, back row, what's your name? You want to stand up? What's your name? Could you spell your last name for me, please? All right, do you have a case number or SID number? All right, just give us a moment, we'll get to you. Anyone else who was late or your name was not called? All right, these are the rules of the court. COVID was real and it's still going on. Now I think we have monkeypox and everything else. So I'm trying to keep the well as least congested as possible. So these are the rules. Defense attorneys, when you want to speak to one of the prosecutors, just grab your file from one of the boxes, just put it on the table and take a seat. The prosecutor will call you when they're ready to confer. If you want to approach the court, grab the file from the clerk. The clerk will place the file here, have a seat, and I'll call you up when we're ready for you. It's first come, first serve. Trust me, it doesn't matter how many people come after you and put their files down. If you put your file down first, you will be going first. Unless somebody allows you to skip because they're just in such a happy mood and want to hang out with us. So everyone, remember, it's Monday. Put some patience in your pocket. Be kind to each other and confer.
All right, thank you. Desiree King, please.
Who is Christopher Lewis?
Your Honor, I'm T. Chris Lewis.
Yes, who are you here for?
Your Honor, I'm here for Jeff Kesey.
All right, we're just waiting for Mr. Kesey. Thank you. All right, so are you ready for sentencing?
We are, Judge.
All right, just give me a moment. Could I see the file on Kesey, please? Yes. It's Keeesee. All right, so Mr. Lewis, as soon as you find a stable, are you driving or no?
I am parking, Judge. So
All right, as soon as you're
2 minutes.
all right, as soon as you're parked and ready to go, we'll take that matter up.
I am ready, Judge. I have just parked.
All right. All right, Brenna, you ready? Court is going to call 2022 CR 3040, State of Texas versus Jeffrey DeMar Kesey. Can I have parties announced for the record? And Mr. Kesey, if you'll approach, please.
Michael Villarreal for the state.
For the defense.
Your Honor, T. Christopher Lewis on behalf of Jeffrey Kesey.
All right, Mr. Kesey, you entered a plea of no contest on June 27th. And you entered a plea. Just one moment. You entered a plea to injury to a child, which is a third-degree felony. According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 5 years. There's a $1,500 fine. The state is remaining silent on your application, and there's to be no unsupervised contact with Valentin Kesey. And you've applied for deferred adjudication. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report? State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, I can't. All right.
Yes, Judge.
Any objections to the PSI report? State?
No objections from the state.
Defense, you have objections?
No objection, Your Honor.
I cannot hear you. All
No
right.
objection, Your Honor. I'm sorry. That's the
All right.
delay.
All right, thank you. All right, so the state is silent on the application. Defense, do you have any witnesses?
Your Honor, Mr. Kesey will be my witness.
All right, could you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand. You're gonna have to lower your mask because no one can hear.
Yes.
All right. All right, could you state your name for the record? Jeffrey. All right, thanks. I didn't hear the last part. Your voice went down. All right, defense?
And Mr. Kesey, you understand why you're here today, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you remember being interviewed and doing a PSI, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And during that PSI, you expressed a sorrow and some, you explained to the PSI interviewer the lessons you've learned from this experience, is that correct?
Yes, very much so.
Okay. And briefly for the court, can you explain to the judge kind of what you've gathered from this experience?
I've gathered a lot down. The classes I took through CPS, I learned how to better deal with challenging situations and viewpoints on how to instruct my kids better. Also, being the first one in my family ever arrested, this has had open eyes to the system. Very much sorry and apologize. I wish this never happened. It's the worst demon I've ever had. That should have worked.
Okay, you're gonna have to speak up because I know your attorney can't hear you.
This is the worst demon I could have on my back, which is the shoulda, woulda, coulda demon. And there's a lot of things I wish I could redo and do over, but I made the mistake. I'm being man enough to deal with this.
No, it's not a mistake. It's a choice.
It was a choice. Yes, you're right. It was a choice. It was a poor choice, a very, very poor choice for my son and my family. I put everything that I worked so hard for at risk, staying out of trouble for 44 years at risk. Was something that could have been handled way better, way different.
And Mr. Kesey, through your counseling with CPS and going through your safety plan, did you understand effective ways to instill proper discipline with your son?
Oh, very much so. I have a newfound aspect on how to form discipline for my son and my daughter. Unlike how I was raised and how I was taught, which seems to be working a lot better. Getting better results out of him and myself.
And to your knowledge, CPS has cleared you of all, you're done with CPS's case has been dismissed from a CPS perspective?
Yes, everything I know of has been dismissed. I have the 2 certificates here of the classes I have completed. We also got my son, now that COVID somewhat died down, got him evaluated as well. and I have a better understanding of what is going on. And better saying what's going on with me.
And is your intent at some point to be able to have totally unsupervised visitation with your son? Is that correct? And establish that
Yes.
relationship better?
I want to rebuild and get back some of the time we lost at that separation and have move forward and get closer as individuals and as a family.
And this is your first experience with the criminal court system, is that correct?
Yes, sir. First one in my family.
And is your intention to, if you were granted community supervision or deferred adjudication, to follow that to the T, is that correct?
Oh, to the utmost of my abilities.
Okay, Your Honor, we have nothing further.
All right, any questions?
No, Your Honor.
I have questions.
Yes.
All right, so I always read the stipulations again, but I remember this case when I received it. So how old was your child?
9 years old.
And according to the stipulations that I've read, he was hit because he didn't make his bed.
No, God.
Okay, why did you hit him?
He was spanked. Okay, so let me go through this if I have time. to go through the-
Oh, we have time.
Okay. My youngest daughter was sick. I believe she had COVID. And we had our nanny watch our other two children while we took our youngest daughter to get tested for COVID. Before leaving, I asked my son to mind Miss Bexar, our nanny, while I'm gone, because he was on it all week. And he said, yes. We left, of course, it took forever to get the COVID test and get the results. While we were waiting, I got a video clip of my son hanging over the banister of the stairs, which is about a 10-foot drop onto the stairs. I told Eric I was handle it when I get home. We got home. I talked to my son, reminded him of his promise. I also talked to him about why he was spanking. Because he was already grounded from TV, grounded from playing with the dogs. I thought I tried everything at that time. So we talked, and I told him son was spanking. We agreed on how many spankings he would get. Like normal, because I was still nursing a broken leg from falling in the snow here in February. Still had a brace off that. The picture that bent him over my knees and spanked him with a belt on my hand. I had him stand up and face in front of our bed and commenced to spank him. And unfortunately, he moved. I guess from what yes tells me, the lower back.
I mean, not what CPS tells you. Did you see the photos?
No, I haven't seen any photos.
Oh, State, do you have the photos?
Yes, Judge.
I'm going to show you the photos so you can see them. I find it odd that CPS would have you go through their program and not show you photos. Because then if you don't see photos, then, what do you know? What have you learned?
I'm not saying this.
Well, I've been reading these stipulations and it appears that this is not the first time that you have spanked your son. And according to the stipulations, it says that your son is afraid of you. So I want you to see these photos.
Sorry, Judge, my computer
No, it's
So-
it's a Monday.
It is Monday, but you know what? Everybody has some patience in their pocket.
Your Honor, would you want the video? So did CPS give you the video?
No, we're gonna show the bruises. So here's, let me tell you where I'm coming from. This is a child. Children do tend to push boundaries, but I found in my short time on the planet, even though more of my life is behind me than in front of me, I found on my short time on the planet that children like boundaries, even though they try to push them. So whether your child was hanging from a chandelier, whether your 9-year-old was out at the club at 2 a.m., there's no excuse for this. Although I do tell people now, if your child is, Caleb from Children of the Corn, Damien, Rosemary's Baby, then we may be able to talk about this. But even then, this is not the right course to take. You understand? Well, I mean, not apologetic to me. You need to be apologetic to your son, because let me just tell you, when stuff like this happens, guess what? The bond has been broken. I don't know that.
Counselor?
I only know that in the report after this happened, your wife gives a statement saying you're a great father.
You didn't get email, did you know?
Oh, I have the steps that are in here, but the fact that you've never seen these photographs before tells me that that CPS may not have given you a well-rounded view of what's going on, because I'm a firm believer, if you cause injury to someone, that's a physical injury, you should see it.
Sorry, Judge.
Oh, that's
It's
okay.
just technology. They're coming through. It's just taking
But
it.
see, that is why we should have printouts of photos. I remember back in the day, and Brent, I know you don't know about this. You had the camera with the flash you had to put on the top, and then you would have to take it in and have someone develop it. You know about that? Okay. Have you heard of Polaroids?
Yes.
We thought we were very fancy, once you got the Polaroid, and now you don't even need that.
Well, we would love to print them out, Judge, but you know how the budget goes.
Yes. And Mr. Lewis, were you able to view the photos with your client?
Judge, I did have received the photocopies. I have not reviewed all of the photocopies with my client.
Okay.
He has seen all the other reports, but not the photos.
Would you just like me to show him on the laptop, Judge?
Yes.
This is where they start becoming relevant.
And see, the problem where you're saying you didn't know you hit him on the leg, doesn't matter whether you didn't know you hit him on the leg or not. You left bruises on a child. Need to make sure your phones are off. So, Mr. Kesey, your son is afraid of you. And from those photos, he has good reason to be. So here's my question for you. Where was his mother when you were disciplining him?
She was upstairs to me.
And see, I find that to be a problem because I don't know if I can trust her to protect her children because she says you are a good father. And a good father does not do this. And parents should not be disciplining children if you believe in corporal punishment. And that's choices that people make. You should not be engaging in corporal punishment when you're angry. And obviously, you shouldn't be engaging in corporal punishment at all.
Yes.
And I always tell parents this, because I've done child protective services cases before. I always tell them, basically when you hit a child, you know what you're saying? Right might makes right. And I'm in charge and you're not. So you have a child who's not your height, not your weight, and you're welling on them because this wasn't oh, I hit him twice and he moved, because he ended up with marks on his thigh and on his back. And when you did that, you didn't even stop, you continued. So don't give me this thing that you hit him once and he moved, because the marks are more than hitting him once.
No, I
And
didn't say
answer
that.
me this. I'm sure he was crying when you were doing this, was he not? And what were you thinking when he's crying and you continue to hit him?
In this class, I wanted to take a moment to evaluate before I now actually now we don't even spend.
Mhm.
My father-in-law now has moved in with his mother-in-law, moved in, and they can tell you that that's off the table. Their counselor, we made a promise in the room with the children and the counselor saying spanking's off the table.
Here's the thing, people make promises all the time. People will take the witness stand and swear to tell the truth and take an oath and then not tell the truth sometimes. So I've been involved with CPS cases where people say, we're never going to do this again. And they get their children back. And then guess what? 3 months later, we're back for the same thing.
You would never see me again.
So
So
he-
he counselor here that was in the room that I made a promise to,
Mhm.
and he's still going to those counselors. All my children that are going to counseling, and I tend to go to counseling after this.
Who's your child's counselor?
Judge, that's Lori Berkman. She's present.
All right, then I want to hear from her. So any more questions for Mr. Kesey, State?
No,
Any
Your Honor.
questions? Defense, any more questions for Mr. Kesey?
Not for Mr. Kesey, Judge.
All right, I want to hear from the child's counselor.
Thank you.
No, you're not dismissed. I never thought I would be in civil court. All right, come on up, please. Mr. Villarreal, if you want to take that from her and I'll sign it.
Oh.
Could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand. Be sure to keep your voice up. Can you state your name for the record, please? All right. Does anyone have any questions for the counsel, or am I going to just question her? Defense?
Yes, Judge, just a couple of questions that I think you'll end up asking, but let me kind of set the tone. Ms. Berkman, how do you know the Kesey family?
I began working as Jordan's counselor, Valentine's sister, older sister. I began working with her in October of last year.
And you're well aware of the charges that we're here for today, is that correct?
Yes, I've read the whole CPS report.
Have you had the opportunity to talk to Valentine Kesey?
I have.
Okay, and what are your observations based on your professional opinion in counseling with Valentine?
Initially, Valentine did say that he was scared. He admitted that, and he felt like he was always getting into trouble. But that was right after the event when we were just beginning in counseling. Over time, he has said that he feels more comfortable, that he's not scared anymore. They put in place every suggestion that I've made for other forms of discipline, which is actually positive discipline. So we're talking about things before they happen. We're talking about the consequences, and there is no corporal punishment at all.
And based on kind of the new operating procedure that's been set in place, what are your long-term concerns with regard to the parenting situation, or Mr. Kesey's parenting of Valentine?
Actually, considering the severity of the initial report, I think that they have taken everything that I've given them and everything that there was a prior counselor that was working with the Valentine as well, one of my colleagues. They've taken everything that we've given them and have run with it. They have set everything in place to keep everybody protected and healthy and safe.
Have you also had an opportunity to talk to Mrs. Kesey?
I have.
Okay, and do you have concerns with regard to her role in this situation or moving forward?
I do not. I've seen a family that has over time been consistently involved. They have never missed an appointment. They take everything that, any suggestion that we give them, and they work with it. I've done more than 2 family sessions with the whole group except Monty, the youngest child. And I see a family that has come together in a really beautiful way.
Your Honor, nothing further of this witness.
All right, how long have you been a counselor?
24 years.
And what are you a counselor of?
I'm a licensed professional counselor supervisor, so I'm a generalized mental health therapist.
All right, why were you a counselor for Jordan?
Oh, I was asked to see Jordan because she was manifesting a lot of anxiety after the initial event. And she also has a tendency to kind of follow Valentine, and we were concerned that she would begin to act out a little bit, but she never did.
Who is the prior counselor?
Bob Steve,
Why is he prior?
he moved to another practice and is no longer working with Alamo Heights Counseling. And it was easier to keep them together at the same practice. He's physically located in a different.
So were you the counselor during the pendency of the CPS case?
I was at the very, when I first started with Jordan in October of last year, I believe the case was still. It was, I didn't report to any CPS workers. I did not have any requests to speak with them ever. I just dealt with the family.
All right, and who was the person who supervised the visitations?
The visitation, I'm sorry.
The visitation between the father and the child, because there are usually visits. And I want to know who supervised those interactions, and I want to know how those interactions went. And when was the last time there was a supervised visitation?
I was not involved with any supervised visitation. I don't know who provided supervision at those. I only saw them at the counseling office with, and with myself in the office at every moment. They never were alone together at any point, so. But I don't know about the visitations, that I don't do that part.
All right.
My agency provides supervision on occasion, but I don't think we did here.
All right. And so have you seen the interaction between all the parties? Sir, please stop raising your hand. If we need you, we will call you. Thank you. All right. Have you seen the interaction in the home?
No.
So who was the caseworker who saw the interaction of the parties in the home? Because usually there's a monitored return. So who was the caseworker for the monitored return?
I'm not aware. I don't know.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Kesey. Who handled the supervised visitation?
My father-in-law, Henry Dorsey.
No. Usually there is a supervised visitation to begin with. They don't immediately begin with the in-laws are handling the supervised visitation.
They did, no. I'm being honest.
Okay.
At first, I was separated from Valentine from when this happened until February 14th, Valentine's Day. Just fortuitous, it doesn't matter. And from then on, CPS put my father-in-law and my mother-in-law, because that's where they were staying,
Mhm.
as people as a supervisor.
All right. Has CPS done any monitor returns with you?
They've come by, but they finished and they told us they were finished. That was in July, I think. They said they were finished. Our case is closed for them.
Who's the CPS worker?
Oriana, have a difference.
Okay. Ms. Ferguson? He has the business card for the caseworker who is in charge of this case. Can you see if they're available to Zoom in? Because I have questions that have not been answered.
What are the questions?
All right. So, Mr. Lewis, what we're going to do, because I'm not going to make a decision until I've heard from the caseworker. I don't know everything that they have done, and I want to hear from the caseworker.
Understood,
So,
Judge.
if you want to, you can remain logged on, or you can log off. And I anticipate if you could log back in probably at 10:30.
Absolutely, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. Just have a
Thank
seat.
you, Judge.
Thank you.
Desiree King. Desiree King. All right, Ms. King. You've been failing to submit to drug testing. So that's an issue. Do you understand? If you fail to submit for drug testing, you know what's going to end up happening? Well, let me explain it to you so there'll be no confusion. A motion to revoke is going to be filed. And when that motion to revoke is filed, I'm going to look at it. And if it's in the proper format, I'm going to sign it. A warrant's going to be issued for your arrest, and wherever you may be, someone is going to pick you up, the police, and you're going to answer this from the jail. You understand? So,
Your Honor, may I
yes.
don't mean to interrupt, I apologize. We just did a UA and it came back negative. There was one faint line, but we can't count that as a positive.
Okay.
So she's indicated she has not done any drugs or anything of the sort. So I just wanted to make sure before we came before you to double check that.
All right. So you're not to miss any more UAs. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Probation, if she misses another UA, just filed a motion to revoke. This is the last conversation we're going to have with me trying to get your attention. So a motion to revoke is not filed. You understand? All right. The other issue we have is the restitution. So I require everybody to pay their restitution that's owed, because if you steal from somebody and they've had loss, you need to make them whole. And so you owe $2,025 to Miss Paredes. You need to pay that. And you need to get on a payment plan to pay that, because
That's what I'm saying. When I was at the probation place downtown, I was on a payment plan. When they moved me to the other one, they says no such thing as a payment plan.
you're going to get on a payment plan, and you're going to have to pay that every month. And if you miss paying that, what's going to end up happening is a motion to revoke is going to be filed, and whoever your attorney may be will have to address that issue. Do you understand? Because they want their money. And the fact that you have other bills that you need to pay, they want their money. You're on probation. Let me see. Is it deferred adjudication or regular?
It's actually, it says adjudicated from deferred.
Okay, so let me see here. All right, so if you are revoked and sent to prison, you're looking at 6 years prison. You understand? So you need to start paying off what you owe, because they want their restitution. Instead of sending, here's the thing, instead of spending money on gold chains and all of that, you need to pay what you owe. You understand? I'm putting in this docketing sheet. I'm not the one who placed you on probation. Another judge placed you on probation, but I'm putting on the docketing sheet that we have had this conversation about you missing UAs and about paying your restitution. We will not be back before me like this again if this occurs, because you're going to either be in a blue jumpsuit, which is what they put the ladies in at the Bexar County Jail, or either you're going to make bond and we're going to hear the allegations and whether or not I'm sending you to prison. You understand? All right. Is there anything else, probation?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Then if you need nothing else from her, then she can be excused.
We'll just amend her conditions a little
Okay.
bit.
All right. Thank you. Elizabeth Yepes.
Morning, Judge.
Thank you. And everyone, we're beginning the jury trial at 11. So if you're not done, you're going to have to come back in the afternoon. The court is calling 2021 CR 9284, State of Texas versus Elizabeth Yepes. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Marcus Sanders.
for the defense?
Robert Mauer for the defendant.
Are you Ms. Yepes? All right, you entered a plea on May 9th to count 2. You entered a plea of no contest. The state waived the enhancement and count 1 without objection. According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 6 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine and the state opposes your application. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report, state?
Judge, not yet, but I'm working on it.
Judge, I reviewed the PSI. It's pretty straightforward. The state was opposed based upon, I think, the prior criminal history and the amount of drugs.
All right, so are both parties ready to proceed, state,
I'm ready.
defense? All right, state, you are opposed.
Yes, Judge, we are.
Do you have any witnesses?
No, Judge.
All right, defense, do you have any witnesses?
Judge, no, I'm just arguing on behalf of my client.
All right, the court will hear argument, state.
Judge, that's correct what defense counsel said. Our opposition is based mainly on the defendant's criminal history. Looking at the PSI, it looks like she's been given a chance at probation at least twice before. It looks like in 2005, she was granted probation for 10 years on a felon in possession. And she ended up being revoked. And actually in 1993, she was given deferred and then placed on probation and got revoked. So that's twice that she's been given a chance. It looks like we played the offense down just to give her a little bit of benefit for accepting responsibility for her actions. But that's why we don't believe probation would be appropriate in this case. And we're asking for prison sentence.
All right, defense.
Judge, we understand fully why the state made the recommendation they did. Ms. Yep has asked me to speak on her behalf because I think she's kind of nervous speaking in public. Since her release on this case, Ms. Yep I think, has made significant strides in turning her life around. She finally got a job at Mood Solutions. She's been made a supervisor. She makes $15 an hour. I think this is probably the best job and the best situation she's found herself in. I guess for a number of years, I think she's really got her situation solidified, and I think she would benefit from the opportunity for probation with whatever terms of what was appropriate. That's obviously the most important thing. I would like the court to consider that and consider one, I think her remorse of finding herself in the same situation again. I think TAP talks about issues that have been on again, off again with drugs in her life. You would ask the court, if the court does see fit to give her probation to allow her to do intensive outpatient. She's very concerned about keeping this job that she was finally able to get. I think it's very difficult for people with Elizabeth's criminal history to find jobs in the workforce. And I think this company is willing to work with her. And I think it's put her in a situation where she can be a successful part of society. So that's the court to grant that.
All right, so the court has a question because it says on here, guilt minimized.
I think they were talking about on her, when I looked at that, when I read that, I think they were on the TAP evaluation, they were talking about her drug usage.
Okay, all right, Ms. Yepes, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand. Did you commit this offense? All right, so I want to talk to you about your criminal history because that is concerning. I always tell people the criminal history is sort of like a credit report, but it's a credit report related to whether or not I should give you probation. You understand? So your misdemeanor cases, this theft, you were sentenced to 32 days in jail. And I understand how that happens. People just want to get their judgment satisfied and be done. The same thing with hindering apprehension. Then we have the assault, bodily injury, family household, 90 days, theft, 44 days, possession case, 20 days, another possession case, 20 days, then failure to ID, 1 year. So this is what's concerning to me. You pick up a felony in 1992 and you were granted deferred adjudication and you didn't complete it. Why didn't you complete it?
Very young, my husband was very abusive and I didn't do what I was supposed to do. I didn't go to class.
All right. November 2005, felon in possession of a firearm.
That was at my house when they came looking for my son. My husband's house. Was charged with that.
All right. Then we have December, the drugs, 4 to 200 grams.
And he was a-
You don't remember,
I
just
don't
tell you.
remember,
All right, so then we have 2007. You were sentenced to prison, and then you had a parole violation. It appears that you're not learning anything from your prison. Then we have 2014. So 2014, prison, paroled, to a felon in position. I'm assuming these cases were ran concurrently. And now we're here. So I don't understand. I don't know if there's anything that I can do for you because you have not learned anything.
this last time I've learned a lot. I haven't worked in my life like that. I've worked now. I've been working for almost 3 years now. I was given a chance to get a position as a supervisor's responsibilities that I have to do. Something I haven't done in many years, so. It's yes. I feel like I've worked for it and I want to continue to keep it. If I lose it all, then I feel like I can age and that with my history, my background, which is not ever going to change. I won't be able to, I won't make the right time.
And here's, I'm sympathetic to what you're telling me. I'm sympathetic to you getting your life in order, maybe finally. But here's the problem. The amount of drugs was a lot. And your history is awful. All right. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to find her guilty as previously stated. I'm going to sentence you to 4 years in the prison. Give you credit for any time served. There's a $1,500 fine. Time and money will run concurrent. All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to your attorney. Do you understand? All right, and we're off the record. Ms. Yepes, I actually gave you less than what you bargained for because I did consider the fact that you did come in with employment. You understand? Do not come out and do this again because you don't know who your attorney is going to be. You don't know who the prosecutor is going to be or who the judge is going to be. And you will be a habitual and your minimum will be 25 years in prison. You understand? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
And I-
Jose Munoz.
That's my case, Judge. It's the first setting. I was just gonna ask the court if we can get another reset for discovery. I just got hired.
All right, Jose Munoz Monero.
He's a Spanish speaker. His daughter's present to translate for him.
Okay. Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset on Mr. Munoz, please? All right, give me a reset form. I know it's a little bit off the 15 date, but we're going to bring him back on September 12th. All right, so let me give you a reset form. All right, Norma, Mr. Munoz is coming back on September 12th. Oh, and Mr. Mauer,
Yes, Judge.
is your client US citizen?
No.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a immigration attorney for Mr. Munoz. No, just call and see who's available and give them Mr. Mauer's contact information.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Brenda, what page is he on?
Oh, I saw it. Page 6.
All right, thank you.
By number or by? Either. Yeah, easy. Yeah, easy.
All right, Miss Franco Ruiz. He's in jail. When are we bringing him back, Norma? Oh, August 22nd. Okay, thank you. Deputy Laura, Deputy Mejia. Franco Ruiz can be sent back. He's going to be back on October 22nd. Can you let him know his attorney's in jury trial?
Page 16.
All right, thank you. Larry Meadows.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. Do you need to speak with your client?
I need to confirm, I have two cases. Amanda Beltran.
Yes, she's in custody and she's actually here for a motion to revoke.
Okay. And then Samantha Soto. She might be there in person.
She's here.
All right, she is here. So do you need to speak? Miss Beltran is at the jail, so I'm going to have you speak to her first.
I need to confer first. If
All right.
I'm,
All right, well, just give us a moment. Just wait patiently. We will get a prosecutor to you as soon as possible.
all right, thank you.
You're welcome. Chan Stilzik or Stelzik. All right, where's your client? All right, have him come forward. And who is the prosecutor on Stelzik? Okay, why is this case so old?
It's a new chief judge. It was transferred from the 290th. We have been screening speedy trial for 2 years now. The state finally disclosed to us. It's a long story. The point was Judge Pena had recused herself. And so we're here. It's the first day in your court, although it is old. And I talked to Martin this morning, and I think amongst the myriad of other murders we have, that he and Ryan haven't had a chance to get up to speed yet.
All right. So I'm going to give you guys a 30-day reset. Then after that, we'll have a trial setting.
Okay. We appreciate that.
All right. Have you received all the discovery?
As far as we know,
Okay.
although I have more confidence, I think, in this current prosecution team that we will have it all. So.
All right. So Norma, can I have a 30-day reset on Stilzik, and we'll reset it for discovery to make sure everybody has their discovery, and state if you're prepared, you'll need to give an offer on that date as well.
Yes, sir.
All right. We're going to come back on September 15th.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. You're welcome. Deputy Stilzik can go back.
Yes, ma'am.
And Norma, did we send a case to the 290?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Judah Castillo,
Good morning, Your Honor.
good morning. How are you doing?
Doing great, thank you.
So what is happening with this case?
Judge, this is our first setting. I was trying to download some discovery. I was having problems. It turns out that I had so much discovery from all my cases that I need to get buy some more terabytes. So I started eliminating some stuff like that.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset on Castilla, please? All right, we're gonna come back on September 15th for discovery, get a reset form from Ms. Ferguson. It'll be at 9 a.m. You're right.
Oh, Your Honor, I'm gonna be on vacation. The 15th, 16th, and the 19th.
All right, where are you going?
Boston.
Okay, well, normally we can't interfere with his vacation. What date can we come back on?
I'm looking at my calendar. I have 27th or 28th of September.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, what date?
All
right.
29th is fine.
We'll see you back on the 29th. Mr. Castillo? Your attorney is going to be on vacation, so we're going to bring you back on the 29th. Everybody deserves a vacation now and again, okay?
I want to stay married. I'll take it.
But does your wife want to stay married?
She didn't have to be married for 49 and a half years.
Okay, that's just from you. I need to have her brought in.
As long as you don't put her under oath.
All right, have a good one.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, who's here on Johnny Tejeda?
Present, Judge.
And where's Johnny Tejeda?
He's coming. He's.
All right, so and you can switch sides. So I'm assuming this is Jerry trial?
Eventually, Judge, when we were looking at the indictments, we found out that it didn't accurately track the statute, and so we had to re-indict them. They were re-indicted last week. All three cases. Additionally, the death case count for manslaughter was added to that one.
All right, so I'm assuming these three cases before me, I have dismissals for them then?
Yes, Judge, you will. As soon as I sit back down, I'll get it for you right now.
All right, so Norma, these three cases are dismissed. They're refiling another case to the clerks. I'm gonna want these cases to stay together and don't send them in. And then when I receive the new case that's been indicted, you're going to trial right away. Do you understand?
Judge, we want our 10 days.
I don't even have the file, Mr. Sharp. I can't go. So they're saying they indicted it this week, last week.
Yes, sir.
So as soon as I have that, you're going to be put to trial. You understand? All right. You're excused if you want to wait for the dismissals.
I'll come back.
All right, thank you.
That's okay, Judge.
Sure.
Thank you.
Pedro Rodriguez.
He's first, Judge. Judge, this is, good morning.
Good morning. Hey, can I have those three files back just a second? Mr. Rodriguez, you come forward. How are you doing? It's always good to see you. Top of the morning to you. Yeah. Just give me 1 second.
Good morning.
Oh, that's.
Regular.
All right, so what is happening with Pedro Rodriguez?
Judge, it probably is going to be a trial, but I'd like a little more time.
All right, state on Pedro Rodriguez, are there discovery issues?
I'm sorry, it's our family violence case that I didn't confirm with Mr. Bertram, Michelle did, so.
And it's on my part to get to you.
Oh,
Oh, okay,
Do better.
okay, then.
So are you able to get that to him in 3 weeks?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 3-week reset on Pedro Rodriguez, please? For the defense to give discovery. All right, we're going to come back on September 8th.
Thank you, Chair.
Just get a reset form for Ms. Ferguson.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes. Brenda, what page is that?
On page 7.
All right, thanks.
I'll be right.
Sure. All right, who is on Rico Fernandez? All right, and where's Rico Fernandez? Rico Fernandez?
Must have stepped out.
All right, I'll put you on the bottom. All right, thank you. Troy Lee. Good morning. Mr. Lee, come forward. And you're to my left. All right, Mr. Lee. Court attire requires pants, not shorts. Do you understand? Why were you late? I cannot hear a word you're saying. This is not your first time being in court. So you know what proper attire is and you know what time you need to be here. I'm not going to tolerate you being late for court. Do you understand? And I'm not going to tolerate you wearing shorts to court because you had the weekend to discover what you were going to wear. Do you understand? All right, what is happening with this case? Mhm.
Did that paperwork on August 2nd. They're still processing things getting the medical records.
Mhm.
So we asked for a reset at that.
All right, when are you going to have the medical records to them?
It's up to the medical court to request some honor and then they can use about 6 weeks. We can certainly know for 30 days for status. Hopefully.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset on Mr. Lee for an update from mental health court? All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I give you a September 15 court date? And you need to be here on time and not wearing shorts. Do you understand? Oh, I'm accepting your apology, but we need to plan. I would love to wear shorts because it's hot. It's hot underneath this robe. The AC doesn't work half the time in this court, but guess what? I'm wearing a dress. All right, we're going to see you back on September 15th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Yes. Thank you. You know, when Michael gives me these, Michael fills in the dates. Where's Michael? He didn't even get a chance to hear that. Sure, you're welcome. All right, he's coming in at 10:30. Michael, I told Marcus that when I receive dismissals from you, you fill in the dates. I'm just putting that out there.
I understand the court is very busy, so I just try to take as little time as possible. Judge.
All right, Jesse and Oho. All right, Counselor, where are we on this case?
Judge, I just received some more discovery from the state and I have to make it still we need an alcohol video, so we working on this.
All right, are you from Bear County? Are you attorney here in Bear County? All right, I haven't seen you before. What's your name?
John, right.
John Reitmeyer. Good seeing you. Welcome to the 187 District Court. All right, so is that the last of the discovery?
To my knowledge.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Enoho, I'm gonna ask for a 30-day reset. So that's for you all to get all your discovery. Then after that, I'm gonna expect the state to make an offer and then I'll give him a plea deadline date. All right, we're gonna come back on September 15th. Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form. And then after that, you and your client are excused.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
To caseworker, Borrego. We're just waiting for the, defense counsel to come back. He should be back at 10:30.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Who's here on Leonidas Rodriguez? Good morning. And let me see. Brenner, where is he on our docket? Oh, yeah, this is for compliance. All right, Mr. Rodriguez, you're here for the compliance hearing. Sometimes I give compliance hearings so I can get people's attention. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so it appears that you're not understanding no contact and what that means. No contact means no contact. How old are you?
43.
All right, you're 43. This is not Romeo and Juliet. You understand? When I say no contact, I mean no contact. And the fact that she's answering your door, that's a problem. So what did you understand about you to have no contact with her?
Judge, there's a summary that kind of lays out a little bit about what happened. And Mr. Rodriguez realizes that he violated, but there's also, and I don't think it's been accepted yet, we filed a motion to amend conditions of the deferred adjudication to allow no harmful and injurious contact. There's an affidavit from the complaining witness in there that also kind of lays out what happened. I don't know if that's, I didn't see it in the court's file.
No, I consider all of that when I placed him on probation and I said no contact. And that's what it means. It means no contact. So here's the thing. You have two choices. One, you can have no contact with, which is what I ordered, which is what our contract says. Or two, you can continue to have contact. A motion to revoke is going to be filed. You will be arrested wherever you are. You will be brought over in an orange uniform to answer to the motion to revoke, or either you will make bond. But when I say no contact, I mean no contact. Do you understand? So if you want to end up going to the jail, I think they reduced it to a misdemeanor. I mean, if you want to potentially go to jail for 365 days, that is completely within your power. You understand? You're old enough to know you're on, I believe, deferred adjudication for 2 years. And if your relationship can't stand you not having any contact, then maybe it's not a good relationship. I'm not going to have this conversation with you again. Do you understand? Do you understand what no contact means? And so, probation, I'm gonna want to knock on his door, and she either needs to be out of that location by 5 p.m. if it's your place, or either you need to be out of that location and find some place to stay. But when I say no contact, it means no contact. Do you understand? And you're very lucky that I didn't just tell them file a motion to revoke.
Thank you.
All right, is there anything else?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
Can we get a setting for a motion to amend the conditions? Because I think if the court knew some of the background, might kind of understand a little bit. And she's currently not residing at the house, so there is presently no contact. But it's, she's in a position where she has nowhere to live. She's basically living on the streets. That's why she went to his house and initiated contact. He realizes he shouldn't have, he's done it differently. But I think the parties would request an opportunity for the court to hear the rest of the story potentially change.
And see, that's part of the problem. Part of the problem that we have is sometimes people are with people for financial reasons. Sometimes they're with them for fear. Sometimes they're with them because they love them. Like I already considered all of that. And the reason why I didn't tell probation to go ahead and file a motion to revoke is because she's knocking on your door. So let me ask you this. How old is she?
21.
All right, 21, and you're in your 40s? All right. Why does she not have any family with her?
It's his biological daughter.
All right. So here's the thing. What about her mom?
Mother kicked her out.
All right. And then the question becomes why? You understand? So if you want to financially support her and set her up in a apartment, then you're more than welcome to do that. But she is not allowed to stay with you. And no contact means no contact. I mean, that's where we are. I'm sorry, but you were charged with choking her. The state reduced it to an assault bodily injury, reckless. That's a problem. And I will tell you what I know about parenting, even though I don't have any children, but I'm an expert on the subject, is that you can't have a child who goes to their mom, and then when mom wants to set down rules, they leave and they go to the other parent, and then you want to set down rules, and then they leave you and go to another parent. All right, thank you. Robert Trevino. Thank you. All right, what is happening with Mr. Trevino?
There's some additional police reports that the state is looking into getting. So we're asking for a recess at this time.
All right, where the police reports?
Judge, so last time we were here, maybe mentioned that there was some history between the defendant and the complainant. We have our investigator looking into it. He doesn't have access, so he has to go through additional means to get it. But he has sent in the request, and I expect we'll have it within probably by the end of this week, Judge.
Okay, I will tell you all what my last notes say and state, I already know you know what my last notes in the file says from July 21st. Past information of defendant's calls concerning complainant. Recall August 15th, state said only week needed. It's right there.
I didn't remember that date, Judge, but
I understand. All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you recall Mr. Trevino for 2 weeks, please? All right, we'll be back on September 1st. You're welcome. Sure. Get a reset form. All right, who is here on Nicholas Cornelius? All right, and where is Mr. Cornelius?
What study that can make it?
Mhm.
Because that was being invested by the feds at that moment.
Okay,
The court remanded him that long. The state filed a motion to increase the one from the.
okay.
So I've conferred with the state that agreed for the $150,000 bond for years. I support it.
Okay.
File love from the feds to see if they get the bond.
All right, is there any no contact state? Would that be the parties in the motion to revoke? I'm sorry, in the indictment?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So there'll be a no contact with Jose Aguilera. All right, Norma, this already has a recall date for, this is off docket, right?
This is all copy.
Ah, okay, so you're coming back on September 22nd.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Here. Who is here on Rico Fernandez? All right, and where is Mr. Fernandez? Come forward. All right, have you received an offer from the state?
Yes, Judge, Mr. Letter received a offer from the state today. And is asking for time to review the offer with Mr. Fernandez, make a decision.
All right, Ms. Burgess, can I have a 3-week reset on Rico Fernandez?
Yes.
All right, we're going to come back on September 8th. That's your plea deadline date. What that means, you need to let the court know whether or not you're accepting the state's offer. If you decide not to accept the state's offer, then you will be given a jury trial date. The court will not consider any plea bargain agreements after that date without good cause. Or else you'll have to plead open to the court. Do you understand? All right, Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form. You're welcome. Here you go. All right, who is here on Joshua Talbot? All right, if you can come forward, please. And Norma, can you, I'm gonna give him, I told him I would give him till 10:30 to log back in, the attorney for PC. So I've already let the CPS worker know, we're just waiting for him to log in. Yes, just let him know the caseworker is already here. Court is calling 2022 CR 4058, State of Texas versus Joshua Talbot. Now parties announced for the record for the state,
Marcus Sanders.
for the defense.
For the defendant, Dr. Talbot, Your Honor.
And are you Joshua Talbot?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You entered a plea of no contest on June 27th. You applied for deferred adjudication. According to the plea bargaining agreement, the state opposes your application and punishment is to be assessed at 2 years in the state jail facility. And there are other cases that the state is taking in consideration. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report, state?
Yes, Judge.
Defense?
Yes, we have, Your Honor.
Any objections to the PSI report, state?
No, Judge.
Defense?
No, there's none, Your Honor.
All right, state, do you have any witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, do you have any witnesses?
My client, Your Honor.
All right, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand. State your name for the record. State your name for the record.
Joshua Matthew Talbot.
All right, defense.
Mr. Talbot, you know, we're here in front of the judge, the court, and she's considering your application for deferred adjudication probation. Understand that? Yes, sir. And you read the PSI, the pre-sentence investigation. Okay. Tell the court, why do you want probation?
I'd like an opportunity to correct my mistakes, to make things right.
Do you have a place that where you're gonna be able to stay and live with and comply with the condition of probation?
Yes, sir.
Where is that at?
7015 Dorothy Luis,
And who lives there?
my mom.
And would you be able to have a hard time finding an employment to pay the restitution that is owed in these cases?
If I don't already have the money in my bank account right when I get out, I should be able to get it with my brother's company as soon as I get out.
And how much do you owe in restitution?
Around about 4,000.
Do you take responsibility for everything that happened in those cases?
It was my fault. I shouldn't have done that, and I would like to make things right and get probation so I can pay the restitution off.
How long have you been incarcerated? How many days? Have you been?
For this charge, probably about 8 or 9 months altogether.
And how old are you?
I turned 27 last February.
Have you ever been convicted of a felony in Texas?
No, sir.
Anywhere else?
No, sir.
Why do you want deferred adjudication?
so that I can make things right, correct my mistakes. I'll press the witness.
Any questions?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Talbot, I guess when you were a juvenile, you had a couple of chances at probation, all right? All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Looks like in 2009, you were placed on probation for a graffiti case. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And then in 2010 for a theft case. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And also in 2011, you were given probation for a POM. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then as an adult, you picked up a few cases that we've agreed to take into consideration for your plea on this case, right?
Mhm.
It looks like in February of 2021, you were arrested after trying to steal from Walmart. Is that right?
Mhm.
Okay. How many days did you spend in jail after that one?
Oh, man, I couldn't tell you the exact amount.
Okay.
Really don't know.
Was it like more than a week?
Something like that, more than weeks.
Did you learn anything from that time in jail?
I probably learned more this time in jail than last time.
Okay, well, let's go through the next time. So on May 6th, you were caught trying to break into some vehicles, right?
No,
Nope.
I signed a no contest on that for the plea bargain for the felony, but I wasn't breaking into a vehicle. Specifically, what I was doing was I had the antenna on a Chevy Caprice in a parking lot, but I didn't break into it. I didn't steal anything.
Okay,
But that's what I got arrested for. Originally, the officer told me that I was gonna go to jail for a criminal mischief. But when I got to jail, he put a burglary or vehicle burglary on there. But I didn't steal anything. My intentions weren't to steal. I was really just curious and
so what were you doing on that day?
I had the antenna. I was riding my bike around, really just killing time, not really doing anything productive. But specifically what I was doing is I had the antenna of the Caprice right there, messing with the antenna.
Okay, so you weren't reaching into the vehicle with the antenna
Nope.
like the officer
Nope.
said?
My
Did-
doors were closed.
Did you go to jail that day?
I went to jail that day.
Did you learn anything from your time in jail on that day?
I learned more this time being in jail this time than I did that time.
And so then May 23rd of 2021, you're arrested for criminal mischief of a smoke and vape shop. Do you remember that?
Mhm.
You got angry, I guess, that the place was closed and you threw a crowbar at the window? You remember
No, it goes in more in detail. It goes back all the way to high school with the Muslim owner of that shop. I mean, it goes more in detail, but if you want me to tell you the specifics of what happened, I really can.
that? What happened on that day?
I grabbed one of the flag posts that hold the poles open. And the door's locked. You gotta nudge it in there. They sell illegal drugs out that shop. And I was mad about some stuff that happened in high school with the Muslim dudes. So I went in there. I was gonna break in there and grab the dude, but what happened was I grabbed the flagpole, smashed the thing, and the second I smashed it, I looked through the glass and I see the dude with a 5.56 AR-15 with snow camouflage on it. And the second I see him, I duck and he shoots 2 shots at me and I turn around and ran off. So that's what happened.
So someone fired shots.
But I
at you
wasn't
that day?
mad because they were closed. They sell drugs out of there.
Your Honor, no further questions.
Any follow-up?
No further.
All right, I have a question. So explain to the court, what were you thinking when you went to Best Buy and you did a smash and grab?
Exactly what it says on the TAP evaluation, Your Honor. I felt that Best Buy owed me money because I spent money on a computer. And when I went to go return it, what I would do is I would go to Best Buy. I would buy a bunch of merchandise from there. That way I didn't have all my money in cash. I had it in merchandise so that I could take it back and return it and get my lump sum in cash, put it back in my bank account. But when I went to not that specific Best Buy,
That
another
doesn't
Best
even
Buy,
make any sense.
well, what you
That
do is,
no, it doesn't even make any sense that you want to have a lump sum. So you spend all your money at Best Buy, keep the products, and then go back and return it.
yeah, I use them for a little while and then I go back and return them. Your Honor,
Well,
that's just the way I was. I'm not saying it's right or it makes sense, but that was my
Well,
way
that's sort
thinking
of
at
like
the time.
getting a dress and not taking the tag off and wearing it to your event and returning it still theft.
Your Honor, I'm just telling you that was my way of thinking at the time.
All right. Is there anything else from either side?
No, Your Honor.
All right, the court is finding you guilty. The court is sentencing you to 2 years in the state jail facility. There's a $1,500 fine, time and money to run concurrent. Taking consideration county court cause number 655-178, 660-609, 661-868, 678-797, grand jury number 745484, restitution of $3,993.97 to Best Buy, number 152, credit for any time served. There's to be no contact with any Best Buy, no contact with any Walmart, no contact with any smoke and vape shop, no contact with Brian Cordell, BRIAN CORDELL, and no contact with Madison McCoy, MCCOY. Showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a felony conviction, you are not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you. We can go off the record. Stealing is not the way to go. You should have learned that. He's excused. Deputy Laura, he's excused. Michelle, here's this.
Have a seat back at the bottom.
All right, we're going to go back on the record on 2022 CR 3040. State of Texas versus Jeffrey Kesey. All right, and Miss Veneva, could you unmute?
Yes.
All right, Miss Hayden, could you stand in for Mr. Villarreal?
Of course, Judge.
Right. So on this case, you all are silent.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. The court requested that the caseworker be present. Could you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
All right, you can lower your hand. Could you state your name for the record, please?
Boriana Veneva,
All right, and could you spell your first name
Boryana,
and your last name, please?
Veneva.
All right, is there any objection from the state that this witness is appearing by video?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, do you have any objection to this witness appearing by video?
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Kesey, do you have any objection to this witness appearing by video?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Were you the caseworker involving Mr. Kesey and his children?
Yes, I was.
All right. Did you ever do any monitored visits or monitored return with Mr. Kesey?
There was supervised visits between him and his child.
And did you ever view any of those supervised visitations?
No, I did not.
So who viewed any supervised visitation that he had?
It was the grandparents. He was court order for the grandparents to supervise the visits.
So how does CPS know whether or not the visits went well or not?
So CPS confirmed with the grandparents and also interviewed the child multiple times, and the child did not make any outcries.
All right, so CPS never viewed any of the visitation, is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
All right, how often did you speak with the child?
I would see the child on a monthly basis.
All right, and did you see them in the home or did you see them separately?
I would see the children in the home.
All right, and when you interviewed the child, was the child interviewed with the maternal grandparents being present?
No, the child was interviewed privately, just me and the child.
All right, in the home?
Yes, in the home.
When's the last time you spoke with the child?
I believe it was in May of 2020, before I closed the case.
All right. And when you closed the case, what report did you give to the court as far as reunification?
So CPS closed the case with the child Valentin being supervised by the grandparents. The supervision continued and we closed the case.
All right, so it's CPS's intention that there's to continue to be supervision by the maternal grandparents?
Would you repeat that, please?
So CPS's intention is for there to be continued supervision by the maternal grandparents?
So CPS stepped out since Jeffrey Kissy completed all the services and showed behavior changes. So I would leave that up to the court. We cannot make that determination.
No, my question is, when you closed the case, did you, as a part of your agreement to closing the case, was it CPS's intention that the maternal grandparents were to continue to supervise?
Yes, that was the understanding, yes.
All right, any questions from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, any questions?
Just one question. How long does CPS intend for the supervision to continue absent direction from the court? Was there any plan in place?
CPS cannot determine that since there is a criminal case and he was court ordered to have those supervised visits. So CPS stepped outside, closed the case. Since he completed his services, showed behavior changes, we didn't have any outcries from the child or grandparents didn't express any concerns. So the case has been closed for over 3 months and CPS cannot make that determination.
Just briefly for the court, when you say that behavioral changes were made by Mr. Kesey, can you describe those behavioral changes that you have stated on a couple occasions?
So when I was interviewing the child didn't make any outcries of physical discipline. He found other methods of disciplining his child other than physical discipline.
Okay. Your Honor, nothing further.
All right, is this witness excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you for appearing.
Thank you.
All right, the state is silent. I'm really not inclined to give you deferred adjudication, but the state is silent. I think you should go to prison, but again, the state is silent. Who are the maternal grandparents? What are their names?
Henry Dorsey and Patricia
Yes,
Dorsey.
Are they living in the household?
They weren't, no,
Well, how are they supervising?
but they are now, but at that time they weren't.
Okay, so have they been supervising since the case has been closed?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, where are you working?
I'm working at Fort Sim, Institute of Surgical Research.
What are your hours?
I work from 6:45 to sometimes 3:15, 4 o'clock, depends on the experiment.
Okay. All right, this is what the court is going to do. Court's going to give you 8 years deferred adjudication. You are only to have contact with Valentine Kesey in the presence of Henry and Patricia Dorsey. So if they ever leave that home, you're going to leave the home. You understand?
8 years now?
Yes. So defendant is allowed contact with Valentine Kesey under the supervision of Henry and Patricia. How do you spell the last name?
Dorsey, D-O-R-S-E-Y.
Under the supervision of Henry and Patricia Dorsey. So there is not to be any contact with the children unless Henry and Patricia Dorsey are present. If Henry and Patricia Dorsey decide that they need to go on vacation and have a break, then you're going to have to leave the household. Do you understand? I'm going to do a 30-day jail sanction. And I'll give you work release. And that is going to start on the 16th. And so, well, because you need to let your employer know. So that's going to start on the 18th. You're going to turn yourself in. Do you understand? So you're going to come to court on August 18th to turn yourself in. You need to let your job know that you're not going to be able to show up on the 18th. If you need to take a vacation day, then you're going to have to take a vacation day, because that's when your jail sanction is going to start. And I'll give you work release with that. There is to be parenting classes. And do the triple T with him. There's to be regular reporting to probation by Zoom or in person. There's to be regular UAs. I'm going to want field visits. Sorry, probation. There are children involved. It needs to be at least 3 times per month. $1,500 fine, time and money to run concurrent. No unsupervised contact with Valentine Kesey, and probation. I've already stated the persons who are in charge of the supervised contact. It will be the maternal grandparents, not the mother.
And there's also a nanny that lives in the home, or that the home frequently. Would that work as well?
I'm sorry, what?
There's also a nanny that is active in the home. Will that work as well as another supervision?
No.
No. Okay.
No, because CPS, for what they've done, they said that the maternal grandparents are to be the supervisees or supervisors, sorry. So that's who it's going to be. I'm going to want proof of employment within 15 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Probation, is there anything else that he needs?
No, Your Honor.
All right, is there anything else that you need from the court in order to be successful?
How would this affect my security?
I have no idea.
I've done the research for almost 2 years with the federal government.
I mean, I have no idea how that's going to affect that. But here's the thing, based upon those injuries, you should be going to prison. So you're not.
So what's the prison?
Probation will tell you where you need to check into. I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it? All right, because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? All right, and I'm sorry, was there supposed to be an affirmative finding of family violence on this case? State?
Let me check.
Or was that something based upon his clearance that the state decided not to, because this is family violence?
Can check the file.
Yeah, Your Honor, to my recollection, that was not part of the plea agreement, but we certainly understand that that might have been an issue of discretion for the court.
Was it included on the plea paperwork?
No, it was not.
Okay. And we'll leave it up to the court.
All right. So those are the court's orders then. I'm showing you, giving you the trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. You can step up and grab that, please. All right, so you'll need to turn yourself in. By the, I'm going to give you till the 18th. So you need to turn yourself in by the 18th. And the deputies will let you know where you need to turn yourself in. All right, and we can go off the record. Here's the thing, Mr. Kesey. I know you're telling me you're sorry for what you've done. I'm sorry, you need to step back. I know you're telling me you're sorry for what you've done. I know you've gone through classes. I'm a little disappointed that CPS didn't view the visitation that you have with your child. But at the end of the day, what you've done to your child, there's a bond that's been broken. And I know he's saying he forgives you. Children are very forgiving. I'm sure there were people who wanted him to forgive you. So I'm sure he did. I've done these type of cases before as a defense attorney, representing parents, representing children. And I know that sometimes intentionally or not intentionally, children feel the vibe in the household and feel like the family is not a family unit because I have this case that's pending. So those are the court's orders, and you're lucky you're not in prison. All right, Chad Pulliam, you're welcome. Chad Pullman. No, just have a seat. Chad Pullman. Yes,
Thank you.
where are we on this? You're welcome. Thank you, Mr. Lewis.
You're spoken with the state there, so some more time to decide if it's the case that they're gonna hang on to, reduce or dismiss. Spoke with Mr. Villarreal. I know he's getting ready for trial. I believe.
Where's Chad Pullman?
Mr. Paul?
He needs to come up. Why are people being shy? And why does he have this doodad in his ear? Is there something important that's happening other than this court?
Your Honor, he was just in the hallway as well.
All right.
Forgot to have it on.
So state, how much time do you need on this?
Judge, I would ask for another 30 days.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset on Pullman, please? Yes.
We can come back on the 15th.
All right, we'll see you back on the 15th, and state at that time you need to be prepared to make an offer.
We will, Your Honor.
Is there any way to do the 14th? I'm flying out on the 15th,
Oh, where are you headed?
to Vegas for some time off.
It's flooding in Vegas. I mean, they
Hopefully it won't
showed
be a
everything.
flood.
All the casinos are flooded. All right, September 14th, is that available, Ms. Ferguson?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
September 13th.
All right, September 13th.
Thank you, Bill.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, we'll give you a reset.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Who's here on Sylvester Ortiz?
I am, Your Honor. I say so. Let me get my client. He's outside with his son.
Okay. Oh, can I see PC? Because I don't think I wrote in there that he's turned himself in on the 18th. You're this way, and your client is in the center. Court is calling 2022 CR 3798, State of Texas versus Sylvester Ortiz. Can I have the parties announced for the record for the state,
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
for the defense?
Leslie Soffer notice from Mr. Ortiz, Your Honor.
Just 1 second. All right, and are you Mr. Ortiz? All right, you entered a plea on July 11th.
Yes, and we waived PSI and Judge Angelini ordered.
Nothing's written on the form. Mr. Ortiz, did you enter a plea of guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
Okay. Let me just review the stipulations.
Judge, I have a copy of the copy document.
Oh, I have a copy of it. Just give me a moment. Let me read the steps. All right, in case it wasn't said before, this court has read the stipulation. The court is finding there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 2 years in the prison. The state is recommending your application for community supervision. Are both parties ready to proceed with sentencing, state?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Okay.
All right, Mr. Ortiz, do you have any children?
Yes.
What are their ages?
9.
Just one?
Yes.
And where does your child live?
With me.
And who else?
With me.
He owns a house and lives by himself. He worked for 2 years for O'Reilly's. He's the manager at the location.
All right, what do you do at O'Reilly's?
I'm a stocking manager and in charge of the employees.
Okay. Do you guys charge restocking fees when a customer brings a return in?
Only if it's shipped from out of state.
Okay, good thing to know.
Okay. The junior's already met, that's running health. He's outside, he probably go to the courses.
Okay. So there's some issue with alcohol abuse. You know, while you're on probation, you're not allowed to drink alcohol at all. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right. I have here that you stopped drinking alcohol several times, but you will use again because he likes to drink alcohol. What is this about?
He's misinterpreting from what I said. I said.
All right, let me have you raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, lower your hand, state your name for the record, please.
Sylvester Ortiz.
All right, when's the last time you had alcohol? And here's the thing,
July
I'm
3rd.
inclined to go along with your agreement, but you need to be truthful with me so I can give you conditions to help you. Do you understand?
Yes.
So when's the last time you had alcohol?
July 23rd of 2021.
All right. Why do you remember that date?
It's the day I got arrested.
Okay. All right, is there anything else from either side?
No, no, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right, the court will sentence you to 2 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 2 years. The court has the motion to destroy the weapon. And the court is, yes,
I have made a motion to have the weapons turned over to me. I prefer the state is opposed to it, but I'd like to urge the motion.
all right. Your agreement was for the motion for the weapon to be destroyed. That's your agreement. So
That was at the time, but I talked to my client afterwards to get his permission.
okay, I understand. I'm just following the plea bargain agreement. So I'm granting the state's motion to destroy the weapon, which is a Glock 22 serial number 1ERN 866 US. And Romarm, ROMARM AK-47 serial number 1L386178. There's a $1,500 fine that will be probated. Proof of employment within 15 days. No employment as a home healthcare provider or with minors. 200 hours of community service restitution. 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide proof of the COVID vaccination. Parenting classes. The remaining of the community service hours will be waived once you complete parenting classes. There's to be regular UAs. Make sure that he's tested for alcohol.
Yes, Your Honor.
There is to be field visits 2 times per month. Probation, is there anything else that he needs? Regular reporting by Zoom or in person.
That's all your.
All right, Mr. Ortiz, is there anything you need from the court in order to be successful?
I'm just kind of cut off guard because when I came last time, they didn't say all that stuff. Now it changed.
Well, I mean, probation isn't you just do right for 2 years and you do nothing. Probation is you actually have to do something.
No, I'm saying that, well,
What, is there a confusion over something?
No, Your Honor, I think what he's talking about is that when we came, we had the agreement, and then what happened was we had the TAP evaluation and other conditions opposed. So he thought the original agreement was based on what we had on July the 14th.
Well, I'm following the agreement that you entered into. All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Counsel, here you go. Did you, counsel? Here you go. Did you review that document? That's okay. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? No, that's your copy. Do you understand? And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand? If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes.
And the other thing, don't ever show up late for court again. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, just remain seated. Probation will go over conditions with you.
Your Honor, very quickly, probation, what I was saying, that they did talk to me, they were asking if the supportive outpatient treatment and any monthly year analysis and documented weekly sober support or AA or NA meetings that they be held in advance.
All right, so this is,
Event that he does test positive.
all right, if you test positive for alcohol, you're gonna have to do intensive outpatient treatment with probation. Do you understand?
Yes.
So if you test positive, it's gonna be intensive outpatient treatment.
Versus in supportive.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Yes, you're excused. All right, who's here on Philip Washington? Yes. All right, the court is calling 2022 CR 3873B and 2022 CR 3498B, State of Texas versus Philip Thomas Washington. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Marcus Sanders.
for the defense? And are you Mr. Washington? All right, in each of the cause numbers, you entered a plea of guilty, and cause number 2022 CR 3498B, you entered a plea of guilty to count 1. State waived count 2 in the repeater paragraph without objection. And 2022 CR 3873B, you pled guilty and the state waived the repeater count without objection. And each cause, I found that there was sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court found you guilty. According to the plea bargain agreement, there's no application. Each case is to run concurrent. There are several cases that are being taken in consideration, and the state is asking that your sentence be set at a cap of 22 years. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report?
Yes, Judge.
Yeah.
Any objections to the PSI report?
None from the state.
State, do you have any witnesses?
Yes, Judge.
How many witnesses do you have?
1.
All right, if you can call your witness.
State calls Cynthia Martis. Please.
All right, can you come forward and raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes. All right, you can lower your hand if you state your name for the record. All right, state.
Thank you. Cynthia, are you aware why we're here today?
Yes, sir.
Are you one of the victims in cause number 2022 CR 3498B?
Yes.
And the judge is familiar with the facts of the case. I just want to go over a few details that may not have been in the report. What were you doing? Or what were you at first? Where were you at that day?
I was at home sitting on my chair, like I usually do, sit with my door open, and I was there with my friend, just sitting there watching TV, listening to my news, and I do volunteer work at home, and he was one of the people that helped me, get volunteer work, and I was helping him out as a place to stay, so he was there.
Okay. So let me ask you another question. How long had you been in that apartment?
About a week and a half.
You said you were sitting there with the door open?
Mhm.
Okay. And the person that was with you, was that Kenneth?
Yes,
Okay. And you knew him from where you do volunteer work?
yes.
What kind of volunteer work do you do?
I was helping at the Travis Street Park Church, which is where he works.
And what do y'all do there?
Everything. I usually work in the clothing room, and he runs the showers, the food. He tells everybody where to go. We do this, you do that, you do that.
And so on that day, the co-defendant came up to you, right? The female?
Yes. And I thought I knew her, but because I know a lot of people, but I help out, I feed people too on the side. So, you don't remember all their faces. Some people just need a shower, some and hey, go ahead, take a shower.
Okay, and so that's why you let her use your phone?
She didn't use my phone.
Oh, whose phone did she use?
She didn't have a phone. She made an excuse that she had left her phone in her car.
Mhm.
And she would look like she was stressed out. So she left my house. And she said, oh, I left my phone in the car. Then she goes down, she comes back with a guy. I don't know who she is. The guy that helped me, with the volunteer work and knew them. I have never seen these people before.
Did they enter into your apartment?
Yeah, because my door was open. They came and they said, do you remember me? And I thought I did, but I really didn't. I said, come on. They wouldn't know.
Who was it that had the gun?
This guy.
Had you ever had a gun pointed at you before?
Never in my life.
When he pointed at the gun at you, what did he take from you?
He took my purse. It was rent time. So I had just been to the bank and, so I had my rent's 800, had enough money to pay my rent. And then all the bills are coming up. It's like, beginning first of the month, all that stuff. So he took everything I grabbed when to call the police. He said, give me that. Everything I pulled out, give me that. And I was scared because there's a gun in my face.
The report mentioned that he, I guess, made you drop your pants and raise your shirt. Is that right?
Yeah.
And then afterwards, you said they took your phone. Did you end up finding pictures that were taken from your phone?
Yes.
Was the defendant in those pictures?
Yes.
And how has this offense affected you? Like, how are you dealing with it?
I still have my door open because I think as long as I pay my rent, I have that right. But it just reminds me that somebody could just walk in and take your life, blow your head off and not think about it. And you've done nothing. What did I deserve to have somebody come and take my money that I work for? I work 2 jobs. I do home health care. And I don't know why I was targeted. I worked so hard to help people, to have these strangers walk into my life and pull a gun on me. And I was scared. I'll never forget. Because he could have just killed me. Some people might rob you and say, okay, I got everything and go, but I couldn't take a chance. My friend, he said, he wouldn't empty his pockets. He said, screw you, excuse my language. But I was scared. I never had this happen to me before in my life. Why? And it's a memory I'll never forget because it could have been. I could not be here today had he chose to pull that gun. Why?
Your Honor, we'll pass a witness.
All right, thank you. Defense, do you have any witnesses?
I have one gun.
Yes, have them come forward.
Cheryl Washington.
Cheryl Washington. Can you come forward, please? All right, if you can raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand. State your name for the record.
Cheryl Washington.
All right, defense.
Ms. Washington, you're the mother of Philip Washington.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you verify some of the things that I showed you in the pre-sentence investigation?
Yes, he's been, as a child, he was kind of bipolar and, he had some effects.
Does that continue its mental condition into
His mental
juvenile?
condition into juvenile, yes.
And recently, when all this crime was happening with him, what was changing in his life? What was going on?
Well, I think drugs came effect in his life.
Did he become addicted to methamphetamine?
Yes, he did. Yes, he
had
did.
a new girlfriend that was running around.
And that's where he met. Before then, he wasn't doing. He came out from the 10 years that he previously had and was doing good. And when he met her, it went downhill.
How long was he doing good?
He was doing good the time he got about, I'd say 7 months the time he was out.
But when the methamphetamine hit, it just.
He lost all control.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you.
No question.
That's all for me.
Yes, thank you so much. Any other witnesses? All right, Mr. Washington, anything you wish to say? All right, you want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand. I think they're gonna have questions for you. All right, so here's my question. Why are you pointing guns in people's faces?
I have no excuse.
Why didn't you get a job?
I have a job with Toyota.
So why are you taking money from somebody who's working 2 jobs to support themselves?
It's not really an excuse, Your Honor.
Why are you bringing your mom down here for this nonsense that you have done? Because this is what I've discovered. People, when they get in trouble, who do they always call? Their mom. Why didn't you call your mom before you did this nonsense? How old are you?
2 years old.
So you're old enough to know better. And a lot of people have problems in their life. I know a lot of people who have mental health issues, a lot of people who have drug issues. This is not the way to go. You could end up killing her. You could end up getting killed yourself. All right. All right, is there anything else? Because court is going to make its ruling. All right. Then each of the cause numbers, the court is going to sentence you to 22 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's a $500 fine. And each cause number's time and money run concurrent. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon in each cause number. Cases taken in consideration are 2022 CR 3501, JN numbers 2049196, 2076193. You are to agree that you committed the court is finding that you committed the offenses of aggravated robbery on December 27, 2021, December 30th, 2021, and January 5th, 2022, with and in concert with Petra Calderon. There's to be no contact with Cassandra Acosta, Jorge Colmenares, Kenneth Henry, and Cynthia Murray or Morris. Is there anything else from either side with regards to sentencing? And each of the cause numbers, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them and did you sign them? All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? If you have a question, you're also not allowed to own or possess any weapons or firearms. Do you understand? If you have a question of a weapon, what a weapon is or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, you're excused. Good luck to you. Davion Graham. What page is Davion Graham on? Okay. All right, Deputy, can you let them know their case is going to be called for August 23rd, their attorneys in jury trial? All right, and I know you haven't had a chance to check to see if the jurors are here. Mosby Ikiri. All right, what is happening with this case?
We were on a trial setting last Thursday. I apologize. I had court last County.
Okay.
I was not able to make it back before noon. I've had a transfer to be recalled today. I conferred with Mr. Sanders. I have some additional discovery to do on my end with my family for my client judge.
Okay.
And we continue to confer, but we're asking for that.
All right, Ms. Fergus, can I have a 30-day reset on this case for discovery? All right, we'll come back on September 8th.
Thank you. Judge.
You're welcome.
Assuming this on time.
No. Ozzy Ibarra. Yes. All right, court is calling 2020 CR 12332, State of Texas versus Ozzie David Ibarra. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
for the defense?
Ed Garza from Mr. Ibarra.
Are you Mr. Ibarra?
ma'am.
Showing you as entitled motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Ozzie David Ibarra who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2020 CR 12332 for the offense of robbery on July 14th, 2021 for a period of 6 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
It's a violation of condition number 5, Your Honor. Give me one moment. Please, Norman.
All right, the state is alleging violation of condition number 5 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant Ozzie David Ibarra did then and there failed to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of August and September 2021 in violation of condition number 5. How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Sure.
State,
So, Your Honor,
are you waiving the other allegations?
yes, Your Honor, the state's waiving all their allegations.
Any objection?
No objections, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 5, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand? Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 5?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 5 true. Is there an agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, there is an agreement. The agreement is for you to deny our motion and to amend the conditions to add in weekly reporting for a period of 1 month. And then for the defendant to have a compliance hearing set in 6 months to make sure that he's back on track with classes, community service and payments. In addition, Your Honor, the state is asking, or it was part of the agreement, the defendant is going to take a plea in County Court 6 in one of his open cause numbers. That would be cause number. Sorry, computer messed
No,
up.
no problem. What is the issue with this mental health initiative? Is he not doing that? I know you all didn't go on that, but what is happening with the mental health? Does he, Mr. Ibarra, can you raise your right hand for me? You solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand. Do you have mental health issues? Have you been diagnosed with anything?
No, ma'am.
There has to be a reason why they're asking that you participate in the mental health initiative. I know I had requested the MIC evaluation and the Center for Healthcare Services. So you're going to do that mental health initiative. If you don't, what's going to end up happening is a motion to revoke is going to be filed. I'm writing on the docketing sheet that I've had this discussion with you, and you're going to come back before me. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm going to deny the motion to alter and amend conditions to include, how many months did you all want for weekly reporting?
For 1 month, Your Honor.
There's going to be weekly reporting for 1 month. You're going to follow up on the mental health initiative and probation. If he doesn't follow up on that mental health initiative, and if he is not doing his weekly reporting and not enrolled in the battering intervention and program you're going to be enrolled in that program within 3 weeks. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If he's not enrolled in that program and hasn't followed through on the mental health initiative, a motion to revoke is going to be filed. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anything else from either side?
Your Honor, the defendant, as part of this agreement, is going to enter into a plea in cause number 682669 in County Court 6. The state is going to take into consideration cause number 682670. And in addition, there is going to be a no harmful or injurious contact order added on to the conditions of this probation.
With?
And it's going to be with Sylvia Montez, Montez. And then I believe it is Kazmir, Kazmir.
All right, no harm for injurious contact with Sylvia Montez Casimir. State is going to take into consideration 682670. And what case number is he pleading to?
It's 682669, Your Honor.
And you are to plea in cause number 682669. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor. Will probation let me know on
all the right procedures to get on the mental health things and
Yes.
whatnot?
All right,
Okay, just making sure.
all right, thank you.
Thank you.
How do we get down to court 6? Do I need to go down there and just?
You'll have to talk to the deputies.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Now, excuse.
Yes. Who's on? Monique Renee Wiley Williams? Ah. You put in the date. It is greatly appreciated. Brenna, see, you know, communication is so key. All right. Okay, I'm gonna take, and can you check to see if they're all here? All right, Monique Raleigh Williams.
I'm sorry.
Well, that's okay. No problem. Laura Mendoza. Come forward.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so there's been some issues with you. You're not making your appointments. Do you understand? So you have a choice. I know people feel as though they have other things in their life to do, right? You can either make your appointments or a motion to revoke can be filed and you can make your appointment at the jail. So let me ask you, do you want to make your appointment with them in the free world, or would you like us to make sure that they come see you when you're at the Bexar County Jail? All right, so they've tried this appointment with you twice. I'm going to give you one more attempt to make this appointment. If you don't make it, we're not going to be having this conversation because they wanted a judge's warrant issued and for you to make your appointment at the Bexar County Jail. Do you understand? So whatever you need to do, you had better speak with them, get your schedule in order and make the appointment. You understand? All right. Probation is going to give you an appointment. You miss another day, we'll see you at the Bexar County Jail. Okay. Oh, you're perfect. Sorry. So we're still missing one juror. Yes.
Your Honor, I'm ready when you are on Ms. Riley Williams.
Oh, could I see Raleigh Williams? All right, yes. Raleigh Williams, how are you doing today? Oh, that's good. I don't like for people to just be sitting at the jail. I like to get updates so we don't lose you in the system. So what is the update on the Tacoma?
Not eligible.
Okay.
So everything has come back that she's not eligible. DDRF, MIG, homie, everything seems to be okay.
Okay, so what are you recommending probation? Because she's been given deferred adjudication. I don't want her to end up in a position where she falls through on everything.
Well, there hasn't been any type of substance abuse records, like there's nothing for us to go on there. So there's no treatment necessarily. I believe.
Do you have any, and we're not on the record because I'm just getting an update. Have you ever been diagnosed with anything before?
When my dad died, I got diagnosed with depression and foster care.
Okay. Do you have any children? Okay. So if you were released, who would you be staying with?
My grandma.
Okay. Does your grandmother want you there?
Yes, but she's strict.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. This is what I always tell everybody. that if you're gonna be living with your grandmother or living with some other adult, their rules go. So if they have a curfew for you, then until you have your own place, you get that curfew. If they don't want other people in their house, until you get your own place, you can't have other people in the house, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And what are you doing marking up your face?
I know I'm trying to get it removed.
Okay,
I
because
want all my tattoos gone.
well, here's the thing, people can get tattoos and people, because I asked about them, people think I have a problem with tattoos. I really don't have a problem with tattoos, but I will tell you, some tattoos and their placement, it sort of eliminates certain jobs for you in the workforce, or either you're going to have to start covering it up.
Yes, ma'am.
Brenda, what do you call concealer? Yes. So you'll have to start using concealer. I don't wear makeup, but let me just tell you, I would think that using concealer in San Antonio during the 100-degree heat is probably not great. Does concealer ever run or does it stay in place? See, it can get cakey. I don't think you want that. So what do you?
Your Honor, I believe if we just go through her regular terms of probation that was set.
Okay.
And just monitor from there. And if any issues arise, then we could, look at those issues.
Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna monitor. But here's the thing, when you're on probation, communication is key. I know people may do different things in different courts, but because judges do different things. But I'm all about, if somebody's on probation, I want them to be successful at it. If I didn't think they could be successful at it, then I wouldn't place you on probation, right? So if you need help with mental health issues or counseling, you got to let probation know. So what I'm going to do, just to be on the safe side, just refer her to Center for Healthcare Services, or if there's some other counseling that probation has open, to see if there are any issues that need to be addressed. She's going to be living with her grandmother. And because we're streaming live, I don't want to put that her grandmother's address on the Zoom, but you're going to be staying with your grandmother. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You're not allowed to leave there unless there's some emergency. For example, you're not following her rules and she puts you out. You need to immediately call probation and say, I wasn't following my grandmother's rules. She put me out. But you just can't up and leave unless you get permission from the court. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
May I put for 1 second?
Sure.
That, I think somewhere on your desk, there's a motion to amend conditions of bond or one of the time. He needs to get to work. And that's all we're asking for.
Okay. Oh, thank you. I haven't seen this. Let me see. All right, defense. I'm sorry, defense. You are defense. State. Have you had a chance to review this motion to amend release on Castilla? He has full-time employment.
It's a family violence case.
Yes. Usually they have no issue with your client working.
Yes, fine. Thank you.
All right. Then just let the jurors know. Defense, can you come forward? Yeah.
Yes.
All right. All right. Could I have anyone here from the state, please? That's okay. All right. So one of the jurors forgot the time to be here. So they say that they will be here in approximately 15 minutes, but that's not going to give us any time for testimony because Brenda will need a break. So I'm going to go ahead. Sorry, did someone say something?
I said, what would the court like to do?
Yes. Oh, I felt like it was coming from a different direction. Yeah. Yes. So what I'm proposing you to do is go ahead and let them have lunch. And then we'll start with testimony at 1:30.
1:30.
Yes.
Okay, so we are, as far as that trial case goes, we're in recess until 1:30.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine.
And so do you have any issues with me letting the deputy let them know that we're going to start at 1:30?
None whatsoever.
All right.
Your
So-
Honor, before the jury comes in, we do need to just put on the record that we're asking the court to make a finding under 42017.
Okay,
So, but I think we can do that then.
all right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, who's here on Carlos Vargas?
Here.
Doing well.
Yes, hi. So we're supposed to be having a contested,
Yes, Your Honor.
so our party's ready?
Judge, I had conferred with Mr. Escobar last week. There was a subpoena that was not executed, and I'd respectfully be asking that we be recalled to next week.
All right, when is,
It's a therapist of his, and I did issue the subpoena, Judge. I just wasn't able to have it served. But my other witness was subpoenaed, and she's here. She's been in the courtroom all morning, but I'm
Oh.
sorry about that, Judge. But
no problem, it happens. Ms. Ferguson, can you recall Mr. Vargas for next week? State, will you be able to have your witnesses here next week?
That's something that I'll have to find out, Your Honor. We were told that they were available for today and I had arranged for them to be available today, but then again, I think whenever the sentencing happened in the other case, that's when we knew that there may be an issue. So we don't know when they're going to be available, but I can reach out to them right now.
All right, if you'll reach out to them and then we'll figure out what date.
yes, thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. And if you want to talk to your witness who's here to see if they're able to come back.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Judge.
May I approach the Honor?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. Oh, tell her I said happy birth month. Mhm. Yeah. 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 Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Mhm. Oh, that is so hilarious. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good one.
You too.
Jonathan Tate, Deputy Laura, Jonathan Tate is going to be recalled for August 23rd. Tell him his, a defense attorney requested that. All right, Mr. Meadows.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, so you're ready to confer with the state?
Yes, I am.
All right, for the state, Mr. Meadows is by video. He has Amanda Beltran
And Samantha Soto.
and Samantha Soto.
Excuse me.
Judge, I'm gonna go call him in the hallway.
All right, thank you.
When did you say trial starting up?
1:30.
Okay.
we approach?
Yes.
Carlos Vargas confessed to MTR, Your Honor. I believe the state has had a chance to launch it.
Your Honor, I have spoken with three, 4 witnesses. They did say that they would be available for next Monday. The fourth one, it's a SAPD 911 custodian. It really doesn't matter. There's no people who can go on board.
All right. And would there be any objections if some of the witnesses are only able to appear by Zoom?
As long as that there's both ways, as long as
Yes.
it's a two-way street.
Oh, it's always a two-way street here.
Yeah.
No objection to the state, Your Honor.
Okay, yes.
Okay. All right, Ms. Ferguson, can we recall Vargas for next week, please? Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. Judge, I'm sorry for my tardiness. I had to go to the dry cleaner to make sure I look sharp for this.
I appreciate that. Just make sure, and you do look sharp, just make sure you get a reset form from Ms. Ferguson.
And Your Honor, what time was that hearing yet?
How many witnesses do you all have?
We're anticipating possibly 5. Right now, we know 4.
We have 3 for sure. So.
All right, that'll be in the afternoon then,
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Your
at
Honor.
2
Thank you,
p.m.
Judge. Judge, thank you for being respectful of our intent.
Sure, no problem.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Take it when you-
Oh, this is done. Mhm. All right, Ernest, can you come forward?
Judge, can you let Larry know that I'm trying to call him and he's not answering?
Larry, can you answer your phone? The state is trying to call you.
Okay, yes.
All right, thank you.
Judge, have him call again. I didn't have my phone in front of me.
All right. Lupe, can you find out what his cause number is?
Hey, how you doing? Good. Yeah, Amanda.
And let the parent know when you get there, if you're there.
So assuming don't want proceeding forward.
All right. Can I see the file on Alejandro Garcia? Alejandro Garcia. Let me see all the files that are still remaining. Thank you. All right, no, tell Mr. Leal that he needs to be here. Where is Mr. Leal? I'll let him know this hearing here is at 9 a.m. and he needs to be here.
Oh, yeah.
A wonderful day, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, you too.
Your Honor, this is Larry Meadows.
Yes.
I conferred with Marcus. If I can speak with my clients, Miss Beltran, I see her, she's in jail. Then I think Miss Soto is in the courtroom.
Yes, you'll need to be in person to confer with Ms. Soto. But
Okay.
I've sent Ms. Beltran, if you'll go to the breakout room that you've been assigned to, and Mr. Meadows, if you'll go to breakout room number 2, please. And on Rivas, what are the state? On Cruz Rivas.
You want me to reach out to Samantha Soto over the phone?
All right, you need to go to the breakout room, Ms. Beltran, it's number 2. It's Cruz Rivas.
Get the call number, Your Honor.
It's on page 8, 2022 CR 6937.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, can you tell me when you have any information on the CM cause number or no? And Ms. Ferguson, on Rivas, give me a 30-day reset. The attorney who's going to now be on the burglary of the building is going to be Gary Chirek, who's on the arson case. right, and so we'll come back on September 15th. Deputy Laura, can you let Mr. Cruz Rivas know that his case has been reset for September 15th?
And Judge, it's still waiting in Diane. I don't know how long or at what stage in that process they are.
All right, thanks.
Good. I'll let the intake person know and try to make a decision before that date.
All right, thank you. Yes, yes.
Judge, in June, we had a trial. Originally started in section. And on the next meeting, we have to.
Okay.
I don't know if you recall all. Make a long story short, we're always telling him he has to do sex offender registration.
Mhm.
Which is clearly not what we intended at the time. And we stated so on the record.
Mhm.
Long story short. We're always asking to see what living or having. Training that no registration required.
Well, this is what I would suggest. I would suggest that you ask the clerks to pull the judgment and you make a copy of a judgment and you send that to them. And you can highlight where it says no registration requirement.
Let me do that.
Okay, all right,
That may satisfy them.
yes,
I'm thinking they have been going back and forth.
no problem. It happens.
Crazy.
Okay,
Anyway, let me go.
all right, thank you. All right, Mr. Meadows on Miss Beltran.
She accepts the state's offer, which is 6 months state jail.
All right, Miss Ferguson, I need a trial court certification for Miss Beltran. All right, thank you. I'm going to send you all back to a breakout room and Miss Ferguson will get the paperwork to you.
Thank you.
Okay.
And Brenda, we're going to take our break at 12. Latasha Jenkins. Your attorney is not present. We're going to recall your case for tomorrow, so you need to be here tomorrow. I'm going to give you a reset form.
Since I've been out of jail, I can't get nothing back.
Okay, so this is what we're going to do because he's your court appointed attorney. So we're going to recall it tomorrow. And then if he's not here tomorrow at 9, then we'll consider something else. Okay. All right. I understand. No. Thank you. You're welcome. Yes. Okay, and I told everybody, Michael Villarreal dates everything.
From now on,
I'm not saying anything. I'm just putting it out there.
from now on.
Ah. Yeah.
You thought that.
She was here at 9 o'clock this morning, so Lupe decided to tell her to put her on, but she let me do that.
All right, thanks.
I.
All right, so. Deputy Laura, can you put that, so Norma will have it? Norma will have it. That's been reset. Alejandro Garcia.
He was here in attempt to look for him,
Mhm.
but was not successful.
All right, can I have a prosecutor, please? Court is calling 2022 CR 4999, State of Texas versus Alejandro Garcia. Can I have an announcement from the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
All right, this case was scheduled at 9 a.m. It is now 11:53 a.m. Deputy Laura has informed me that defense counsel Nathan Slimane was present looking for his client. His client is not present in the courtroom. Deputy Laura, could you have someone call in the hallway to see if Mr. Alejandro Garcia is anywhere to be found?
He's not in the hall, Your Honor.
All right, defense, I'm sorry, state.
Your Honor, the state would move for the defendant's bond to be revoked in this case and for a warrant to be issued for his arrest.
All right, that'll be granted. He'll be remanded without bond and a bond forfeiture will be granted. Thank you.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Yes, who do you have?
I have Miss Leslie Gloria. She's in custody. There's a city registration case, I believe, and MTR that she's here on, and we'll probably need a contested second.
Have you conferred with her?
We have to.
And you conferred with the state? All right, Miss Gloria. Come down, please.
What? I'm not roasting you. It's nice.
All right, state on Gloria, do you have any
The middle.
idea which violations are you proceeding on?
Well, Judge. Right now, we plan on proceeding on all of them, but I know defense, and we made an offer to defense. I know they wanted to obtain some more discovery, which is all on our system. We showed them some of it today, but I guess they haven't had access to it.
All right, I'm gonna get you a reset and it's gonna be for contested. So if it's gonna be contested, it's gonna be contested. There's none of this. It's not contested anymore because we're putting you on the docket for contested with witnesses. Does everyone understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
So what that means is that the court is not going to be entertaining any agreements.
Okay.
So if you all say contested, I'm setting it for contested, and we'll have witnesses here and witnesses will either show up or they won't show up. But there will not be we've changed our mind. And now it's going to be not a contested because we will put you on the docket based upon the number of witnesses you're saying you have.
I believe the number one was taken, perhaps for the efficiency of the court. We'll confer on the technicals to see if there might be any.
All right, you all can confer then.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, you can have a seat. Yes, Mr. Meadows, did you fill out the documents?
Let's see. I don't think, okay, yeah, I got it. Not yet, but I will. And, could you have Marcus call me? Because he gave me different options and I wanted to tell him what options, my clients took, so.
We can just take care of that on the record, Mr. Meadows, since he gave you two options when.
Okay, let me fill out the
at that
paperwork.
point. All right, so who do we have left from the jail? Mhm. All right, Shirley Martinez, she's going to come back tomorrow. All right. And who else do we have? Which page is Emma Pettis on? Oh, I see it. That will be tomorrow. And then you have Ethan Forrest. That will be tomorrow. Samantha Soto, why were you late for court? All right, you're gonna have to do better with time planning, you understand? Because court starts at 9. And then who else did I tell you was tomorrow, Deputy? I'm sorry. For the jail. All right. All right, so yes, let them know that their attorneys did not appear.
How you doing?
Yes, hi.
Well, if we could perhaps get but we're trying to avoid hashing out anything over, wasting time over technicals where there's not any dispute. I'm gonna have to confer more with my client on that, if that's all right, if we could get like a regular short reset on it.
All right, just a moment. So is this going to be contested?
Just a regular.
No, I mean, is this going to be a contested hearing?
We are contesting number 1.
All right, so we're going to have a contested hearing. Is that correct, State?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So how much time are you asking for to get your witnesses?
Judge, I would ask for to have this set in 30 days.
30 days.
Well, just we've had a lot going on. We're getting a third person next week, so that's helpful.
I'm thinking,
3 weeks.
just 1 second. Let me get Ms. Ferguson back in here.
So your honor, if there's a dispute over the number one, then you don't want us to do regular reset.
Oh, no, it's contested. So, I mean, you are getting 14 days.
Fair enough.
Her name's Catherine. I can't remember.
Speaker, I need a tested setting on Gloria, Leslie Gloria for 14 days, please.
Something on one system, but then I think it's just removing it.
I can do August 29th. All right, we'll be back on August 29th at 2 p.m. All right, thank you.
All right, I'm already in here on that date. Excellent.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Thank you, but I didn't.
Okay. All right, Mr. Meadows. Have you signed the documents?
I've signed, Beltran. I think I'm waiting for Soto.
Just starting on that, Judge, on Soto.
That isn't good.
All right, so the last, only people we have remaining are Beltran and Soto.
Sergeant Delgado, 5658, Sergeant Delgado, 5658.
What do you need? Yeah, that's not gonna change, it's AC. You're just gonna have to speak up. It's the AC unit that's in here. No matter where I move you, it's gonna be loud.
Welcome.
Jesse Esparza. If not, I'll have to come get a letter from you.
All right, Ms. Beltran, have you ever seen documents from your attorney to sign?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Meadows, have you received the documents on Beltran and did you sign those?
Yes, I have. I don't have the email address to the jail.
It will go to the jail automatically.
Yeah, I signed it, Judge.
Document?
Amanda asked the
All right, Ms. Beltran, do you see documents on your end that you need to sign?
She's coming to help me right now.
Do they want you to go back to the breakout room?
No.
Now, she has documents that should be there for her to sign.
You seen it, huh? I don't think you did.
Okay, I signed them.
All right. All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 4088, State of Texas versus Amanda Beltran. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? For the defense? Mr. Meadows?
Larry Meadows for the defendant.
And are you Ms. Beltran?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video at the request of defense counsel. Ms. Beltran, did you review a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Any objections from the state with this hearing taking place by video?
No objection.
Ms. Beltran, did you review the document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you the same Amanda Marie Beltran who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2021 CR 4088 for the offense of unauthorized use of a vehicle on June 30th, 2021 for a period of 3 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
State?
Condition number 2, on or about the 9th day of August 2021. In Bear County, Texas, the defendant Amanda Marie Beltran did then and there illegally use an illegal substance, namely marijuana, in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
We'll waive the others.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
No objection.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand? Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 2? I'm sorry?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find violation of condition number 2 true. Is there an agreement?
There is, Judge, we're asking that you grant the motion, adjudicate, and revoke and sentence her to 180 days in the state jail.
Is that the agreement, defense?
Yes, it is.
Are you asking the court to follow this agreement, Ms. Beltran?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is she, how much credit does she have? Does anyone know?
Yes, ma'am.
Don't, but I can check.
How much credit do you have?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not really sure,
My
ma'am.
sister Amanda, she has bad anxiety, and then she's mentally retarded. I don't know, something like that. I don't know, but she takes medication for her 11th grade.
Have you, I'm assuming she has done nothing on probation. Is that correct? Has your client done anything on probation? Thank you.
I think the violations were the main ones were testing positive.
No,
I'm not
has she done
sure
anything?
I'm not sure exactly what she did or didn't do.
All right. All right, I'm gonna follow your agreement. Find you guilty, not grant you community supervision. Sentence you to 180 days in the state jail facility and give you credit for any time served. Is there anything else with regards to sentencing?
Nothing, Your Honor.
All right, did you review? Yes.
Do you know how many days I'm getting credited for?
You have over 72 days credit.
Thank you.
All right. Did you review a document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney, and did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you. We can go off the record. You're going to have to do better. I strongly would have considered giving you something else, but you've done absolutely nothing on probation. All right, don't make it a habit for you to be in custody. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, the court is going to take its lunch break. Mr. Matos, my understanding is that you're working out some sort of agreement. So we're going to come back on your agreement at 1:20. Everyone needs to be here at 1:20 p.m. and we will go over your plea or whatever is happening with that case. And with that, the court is going to stop live streaming and we'll take this up at 1:20. Mr. Meadows, if you still need to